Hey guys, it's Tabitha again from Thalassico Creations, and today I'm coming to you with a tutorial for these lovely macrame Christmas trees. They're super cute, you can make them in many different colors and also different sizes, so if you use thicker cord they'll come out a bit bigger than like this, and if you use thinner cord they'll come out a little smaller like this. It's really fun to make, a little bit more complex than the Christmas ornament I showed you last time, but still only 2 different knots to learn and then just repeat over and over, and I'll take you through it step by step. So hopefully you can follow along and let's have fun. What you need is some macrame cord. I'm using this 3mm braided green cord, but you can of course use any color you want. The silver yarn to tie the knot. Again, you can use any color you want. Of course, some scissors, preferably fabric scissors if you have them, and a little wooden ring to attach the tree to. And then a ruler for measuring. Next, we're going to measure our cords. For this tree, I'm making a smaller version. I measured 100 centimeters of the 3mm cord. If you want to make a larger tree or use thicker cord, do take a little bit more, maybe 120 centimeter per strand. And it's not super exact, just to make sure you have enough room for the knots. I'm cutting 6 strands here, so I measure the first cord on the ruler, cut it off, and then use that first strand to measure the other 5. So now we're gonna fold our strands in half. So having 6 strands, you have 12 when you fold them in half, 12 lengths. And you take your first cord, fold it in half, and the wood ring, and take that little loop at the top and pull it from the top to the bottom through the ring. And then the end goes through that loop, like so. And that's called a lark's head knot. Lark's head knots are used for a lot of different macrame projects to attach strands to something. So take another strand, fold it in half, take the loop and pull it from the top to the bottom through the ring, and then pull the ends through that loop that you created and pull it all tight. So in total you need to attach 2 of the cords to the wood ring. We're now gonna make a square knot. So take the outer 2 strands and lay the left strand over the middle strands like in the picture, and then use the right strand and lay it under the 2 middle strands and pull it through the loop on the left, and then pull everything tight. That's the first step of the square knot. And now you're going to do the opposite. You're going to take the right hand strand, lay it over to the 2 middle strands, and then take the left strand and lay it under the 2 and pull it through the loop, and then pull everything tight. If that was a little bit too fast for you, just rewind the video and set the playback speed of the video to a slower speed to see it in slow motion. Next, we're going to attach some more strands, 1 on each side. So take 1 cord and fold it in half and use the loop and put that loop under the left outer strand, and then pull the ends through that loop. So just like the lark's head we just did, but the other way around, so from bottom to top rather than from top to bottom, and what that does is that it hides the little knot towards the back. And then you're going to repeat that on the other side, so fold a cord in half and lay the loop under the outer right strand, and then pull the ends through and pull everything tight. And now you've attached 2 more cords to our tree. We're going to be using these lark's head knots a lot, so just make sure you get them. Like I said, rewind the video if you need to and play it back slower. And this is what your tree should look like right now. So you have 1 cord attached on each side, which should give you 4 strands in total on each side. So 4 strands on the left and 4 strands on the right. Now we're taking the left middle strand and laying it over all the other cords, and then take the next one to the left and pull it under and then over the cord and through the loop you created, and pull that tight. That's a half-hitch knot, and then do that again. So lay it over that leading cord and pull through the loop and pull that tight, and that's your first step done. Now take the next cord to the left, do the same thing, under the cord, lay it over the cord, and then pull through the loop and tight, under the cord, over the cord, through the loop and tight, and that's your second and a half-hitch knot done. And then do that with the last cord as well, under, over, through the loop, tight, and again over the strand, through the loop, and pull it tight. And that's one side done. And now we're going to do the exact same thing on the right. So take the middle strand and take the next strand on the right, under, over, and through the loop, and pull it tight. And then go around that leading strand again, over, through the loop, and pull tight. And then take the next strand to the right, under the leading strand, over the leading strand, and through the loop. And then do that again with the last cord as well. If your tree slips around like mine, just hold it down, or if you have a soft surface, pin it down. I didn't have any corkboard, but usually I do that on a mat or a corkboard for that reason, because it moves around a lot. So now you have your first tier, so to say, of the tree done, and you're going to take the 4 middle strands and make another cross knot. So again, take the outer 2 strands, the left one goes over the middle strands, and the right one goes under the middle strands, and pull through the loop. It's a bit fiddly, and pull everything tight. And then again on the other side, the right strand goes over the middle strands, and then the left strand goes under the middle strands. Ooh, everything turned here a little bit, and you just pull everything tight. Now we're just kind of repeating the steps from before. You're gonna take the 3rd strand from the left, use that as a leading strand, and then tie half-hitch knots. So the next strand to the left goes under, over, and through the loop, and then again. So remember, each half-hitch knot is done twice, just like in the video. And you're gonna leave the 2 middle strands down for now. That's used for the next tier of the tree, as you'll see in a second. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right again. So take the 3rd strand from the right as a leading strand, and then use the other 2 strands to tie half-hitch knots, under, over, through the loop, and pull tight. So this is what your tree should look like right now, and we're going to attach some more cords to it. So you're going to take the next cord, fold it in half, use the loop, go under, over, and pull the ends through the loop. So another lark's head knot just like before, and pull everything nice and tight. And that's basically your next 2 knots on that row. And then do the same thing on the right hand side. Fold the cord in half, create a loop, put that under the other strand, and pull the ends through. And so now what you're going to do is take the middle left strand again as your leading strand and create 1/2 inch knots all the way to the outside, just like you see in the video here. And once that's done, we repeat the exact same process on the right side. So take the middle right strand and tie 1/2 inch knots all the way to the right side. Little progress update, this is how your tree should look like now. And now it's the same story again. Take the middle 4 strands and make a cross knot. So take the 2 outer strands, the left strand goes over the middle cords and the right strand goes under the middle cords, and pull that tight. And then the opposite, the right hand cord goes over the 2 middle cords and the left hand cord goes under it, and pull everything tight, and you have your square knot. And now we're doing the same thing again. We're taking the left strand from that cross knot and using that as a leading strand to create 1/2 inch knots towards the side. And we leave the 2 center strands down for now until we use them for the next tier up. then we do the same thing on the right, take the right hand strand from the cross knot and create double half-hitch knots and leave the 2 center knots for the next tier. So we're gonna attach 2 more cords, and I've already used up all the 6 cords I cut, so next I'm not even using my ruler to cut the next batch of cords, but I'm just using the tree to measure it. So I see how long my cord ends are on the tree and then see where the next knot would go, as you can see here, and then just fold the cord in half and cut it off to be even with the ends of my tree. This is going to prevent me from wasting too much cord at the end, because if I measured another 100 centimeters right now, that cord would be much too long and I would be wasting quite a lot of material. So here I'm cutting 2 more cords, so 1 for each side, because that's the size I want to make my tree. But if you want to make it larger and keep going down with the tiers, just keep cutting cords to measure up with your tree length. I'm attaching my cords with a lark set knot again, so 1 on each side, and as you can see, attaching those extra cords is what creates that tree shape outwards, because you keep adding and that makes the tree wider and wider. So this is my last tier for this tree, so I'm taking the middle left strand as a leading strand and then creating half-hitch knots all the way to the outside. And then repeat that same process towards the right. Take the middle right strand as a leading strand and then make half-hitch knots all the way towards the right. I'm making one last cross knot and then ending my tree there because I wanted it to be quite small. But if you want it to be bigger, then just keep going. So you then would make a cross knot and then just add tiers and cords as you please. You can make that tree massive if you wanted to, or just tiny like mine. Once you get your tree to the desired height or size, you take the very left strand and fold it back into the middle like you can see here, and then tie half-inch knots towards the center. So taking the next strand on the right, tie 2 half-inch knots like you can see here, 1 and 2, and then you're gonna integrate that into the center. So taking that knot that you just made, the strand, now you have 2 leading strands, and you use the next strand up to create another 2 half-inch knots, and then you use that cord as a leading cord as well. So now you have 3 leading cords towards the center, next strand up, and tie it all tight with half-inch knots. So you get the pattern. Every time you make a half-inch knots, that strand also becomes a leading strand towards the center, and that will create a really nice base for the tree, as you will be seeing in a second.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, such pleasure do you bring me.
Tying all my knots, and then I'm seeing a mistake. So I missed one strand here, and the beauty of macrame is if you make a mistake, you just undo the knot and then do it again. So here you see me correcting my mistake. I'm undoing that knot that I just made and fixing the mistake by taking the strand I had missed previously and tying the knots again. Once you finish the left side, you do that same process on the right hand side as you probably guessed. So take the outermost strand from the right, fold it into the middle, and then use all those cords up to tie half-inch knots. I left a few strands in the middle and didn't knot them up because otherwise the two bases get too tight and wonky. So just leave a few strands like like 2 or 4 strands in the middle. You see me undoing one knot because I made it too tight, otherwise the tree gets a little bit wonky. Only 2 more steps to go, so you're taking your yarn, I'm using silver yarn here, but use any color you want, and turn the tree around and create kind of an S shape like you see here, so that you have 2 loops, one at the top and one at the bottom. Hold that tight with your thumb and then start wrapping the yarn around that S shape that you just created quite a few times so that the yarn shows up nicely at the bottom of the tree. And then cut off the end and use the cut off end and pull that through the top loop. It can be a little bit fiddly, as you can see, but do persist and pull that end through the top loop, and then use the bottom loop to pull down and pull everything tight, and that's going to create a knot under all the yarn you wrapped to secure it, and then you just need to cut off the ends. And now all that's left to do is cut off the ends to your desired length. If you have fabric scissors, this will be much easier than you see here in the video, because these scissors are not very sharp. And there you have it, your finished tree. You can make them in any size, any color, any thickness, any yarn variety, braided, unbraided, whatever you like. And they're really great Christmas gifts. So that's it, that's how you make these little macrame trees. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I hope you enjoy making them yourself. If you do make them, I'd love to see your creations. Just send me a message on Instagram and tag me. And as always, if you like this video and feel like you would like to watch more tutorials, it would really help me out if you could subscribe to my channel or even just like this video to show the algorithm my little channel is worth growing. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye!